Hi.
Yes. So Janaki, you're now on the spotlight.
Yeah. Hi.
Hi. So we have around 56 participants on this particular call.
Yeah.
Just to give you a background, the 56, 57 participants who are there are all, most of them are a part of the Talent Corner family,
Okay.
which means there are recruiters, there are our own franchise heads, there are clients, there are HR people from the fraternity. So we've invited certain HR people from the fraternity as well, those who were a
Okay.
part of our network.
Okay.
And so there are diverse set of people in this particular audience, and they're all here to listen to your experience. I have told them that you are going to be speaking specifically with regards to recruitment only.
Okay.
And just to give all the audience a quick introduction, they've got your profile, but I'm going to kind of repeat the introduction.
Okay.
Janki is someone who's been in the HR and the recruitment industry for a while now. She's played role of an HR consultant. She's very highly networked in the LinkedIn and the HR fraternity, and she's currently doing a lot of leadership level hiring. Friends, in my conversation with Janki, what I found most amazing was she was not bothered about the fact that she was actually helping competition. She was very clear that there's always a lot of work which is there for everybody, and the time today is more about collaboration. It's a lot about learning with each other, and that is where she's taken this forward in a very sporting way. She's prepared, so she's going to share her thoughts in terms of why she believes that the time to come is going to be a good time for all of us. She's also going to be sharing a few hacks in terms of what she's doing in order to get more business. What she's told me very interestingly is that for the last 3 or 4 days minimum, she's been completely occupied with work. She's not got a minute to breathe. So I think that's good news for us in the recruitment industry. I'm sure we are also starting to get work. Next week is going to get even better. Times are going to get back to normal. And Janki, I'm going to also soon mute myself. Before I mute myself, I request participants to mute themselves and turn off your camera. I'll repeat, turn off your camera. Only Janki's video will be there. She's on the spotlight video, which means that you'll be able to see only her video. Okay, and you have on the right, you have question answers which are there. You can have a chat if you want to ask any questions to Janki. She's available on the chat. The way we'd like to do this is 45 minutes of session with Janki, and then you can have 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever question answers you want to have. I'm sure Janki will be more than happy to answer. So Janki, this is over to you. I'm putting myself on mute as well.
Yep. Hi, Rashesh. Thanks for the detailed introduction. So largely, I would like to keep this session a very engaging one. So if anybody wants to ask me anything in between, I'm open to their comments on the chat box or hand if it's possible. And I have not prepared any presentation as such because I thought that it is going to be a regular slideshow, so I didn't want it to be that way. And largely what I'm going to be sharing now is what is going to be useful in the next 18 months, so that once recruitment and staffing gets back to the same demand and supply kind of a situation, it is easier for your team to close on all the positions and work on the kind of requirements that you will be getting. So if I understand, there are people who have worked in all kind of requirements, be it volume hiring, niche hiring, or leadership hiring, all these three hiring, you can put them almost in the same bucket as of now in terms of whatever strategy you're going to have for the next 18 months. And it has to be done from now, whatever I am mentioning. So the 9 hacks which I'm going to talk to you about, they are very simple and they are very experiential. Okay, it's about how much you act on them right now will determine your future of closures and your future of reference. So the 9 hacks of recruitment is recruit. So let's start with the first one, which is R. Okay, R is re-engage. If I understand, there are 56 people who are associated with Talent Corner at this point of time, and re-engage in the sense you must have had in the last so many years so many profiles whom you have already placed in companies and who are already in the process of getting hired, who have taken up offers. So what you're going to do is you're going to re-engage with each candidate. Okay, whether they were offered in the past by Talent Corner, whether they were screened by your company, whether they were contacted initially before screening. You're going to re-engage with every candidate, because in future it could be a possibility that the person who was not selected in one company would be selected in the same company in the future. So re-engage is the first one. Okay, and what you need to do at the time of re-engagement is ask them for their updated profiles. Okay, and see to it if it is ATS compliant. I don't know if certain industries like banking or insurance and agriculture and biotech and all those things use the ATS applicant tracking system, but generally we require that all the profiles be ATS compliant. So when you're re-engaging with these candidates, make sure that their profile is ATS compliant. Probably internally work on an ATS compliant resume for all the people and help them with that after taking their updated profiles. Okay. Now the second thing is E, which is engage. So once you get their profile, you are going to have enough time now to speak to them and develop a relationship. Okay, because it is these same people who might probably get you new requirements from companies in future or refer potential closures in future. They may not necessarily get selected in a company, but they can surely pass on the word which requirements that you have, whether it is volume hiring, whether it is leadership hiring. They will have far more access or far more influence than we ourselves have, which can reduce your duplication. Okay, so once you re-engage with them, help them with your resume, how they need to craft it, make it ATS compliant. Okay, second is engage. So when you're engaging with them, you are trying to understand uh, who are the current employees who are working with them, who are also looking for a change. They could be a group of 10 people. There could be a group of 20 people at various level. Some could be at assistant manager level. Some could be at senior level. Now, two things are going to happen with the pandemic. Some companies will survive. Some companies will not survive. Some will sustain. Some will not sustain. Some could be your clients. Some could be your competitors. Okay. So in such a scenario, if any company is not going to sustain and they are not in a position to give a severance package or place the people in other companies in terms of assistance, you will have an entire lot of 150 or 200 people whom you need to anchor. So the second strategy is engage. First is re-engage the person whom you have already placed. Second is engage with the person whom you have placed to understand what is happening in his or her industry, what is the impact that it has had or it is going to have in the next 18 months or in the next 3 months in the near term. Okay, that is one. You could get lot of people who are looking out for opportunities and tag them to have a special email ID probably created on Talent Corner to invite resumes of people who have lost their jobs through COVID-19. Okay, probably COVID-19 at Talent HR, or however you wish to create that. Make sure you have it a separate place where they can, post their details, and these are going to be some of the very good employees who will be actually without any choice going to come in because of the recessionary trend that may prevail. Okay. C, R.E.C. C is career coaching. Now, some of them may not have any idea in terms of how they need to steer their career forward. For example, they may be at an assistant manager level in a telecom company, but he has no idea where to take his career forward. So you need to give him ideas in terms of what courses or what learnings he need to do from this stage to go to the next level. Suppose if he is taking a jump from one industry to the another industry, what he or she should be learning or studying at this point of time. This kind of conversations should happen between the recruiter and the candidate. It is more like career coaching. You're literally telling them that, this is where you want to see yourself in 2025 or 2022 or 2023. So what are those action steps that you're taking towards your career at this point of time? So C is career that you need to take. Okay. The fourth one is take references of decision makers. Suppose if you're working in non-IT or whichever industry that you're working for, there could be people who own those businesses, or there could be people who are entrepreneurs of medium and small medium enterprise, who may have had to shut down their business without any idea as to how to take it forward, whether to sustain or whether to let go whatever team he has built. So take the reference of decision makers, right? So there you need to take reference of leadership, business owners, and MSME enterprise stakeholders, whoever has run the company, because they could be potential leadership hires for the future. And if you're building the relationship from now till the time when the staffing opens up, and once the economy comes back again, you already have the relationship built with the leadership to place them. So the trust element matters a lot at this point of time when you're taking the reference from middle management and transactional employees towards the leadership level. Okay. And understand, R.E.C.R.U. Understand them not only from a career point of view, but you should know them. I mean, who their family members are. You should know them more closely. I mean, if they're getting married, if they're planning to buy a house or anything which is personal to them, you need to have a very informal conversation with them, and this seems to be the best time for that. I mean, in general cases, when we work on regular days and when the staffing is full and when you have a requirement numbers rolling, we do not have much time. We just pick up the phone call, we speak to them fast, process the resume, update the resume, and then boom, we send it off to the employer. But this is a very good time where people are more at home, they are working from home, they're more leisurely to talk to. So you can schedule detailed calls. If need be, get them on video, speak to them, because again, seeing each other on video builds that trust, and they understand, the recruiter wants to know what exactly I do. In the same time, you can also do the career coaching part, the trust building part through video, so which makes it even more easier. So if there are 56 people, and if you have a clear idea, like, right now I'm going to talk to 20 people each day. So if lockdown 2.0 is 15 days, then 15 into 20 is around 300. So even if you miss out some portion of it, each person would have easily contacted around 200, 250 people, which is like a big number. and then consolidate it and make it a common email list, so that if any opening comes or when the hiring market opens up, you have mails sent out to all these people saying that these positions have opened up, and they will be in a better position to refer you candidates or forward your messages to other people who require those jobs. So you're compounding at that time if you're doing the lockdown 2.0 in terms of communication and relationship building. That is where understand comes. And then R.E.C.R.U.I. is interview tips. Interview tips for each industry is different. And in the current times, most probably if some companies want to hire also, uh, there could be video interviews. So just like we are talking right now, most of the people will not have any idea how to face the camera, how to speak on the camera. They need to be really formal when they are taking up the interview discussion. Each company's culture is different. Some companies like a formal culture, some companies like an informal culture on video. So you need to engage them by saying that, okay, if I were to ask you a video resume within 1 minute, how will it be? Can you send it to me? You assess them based on the video resume, and then let them know how they can approach the video interview. That is one. Second is, if everything becomes very fine and they say that there's going to be an in-person interview, they need to know in terms of how to take care of themselves during interview, how to answer the queries and questions, especially when it comes to salaries, etc. If salary levels are not going to be high, there is not going to be any change, how they need to negotiate with the interview panel. These are things which are personalized to each person who is going to take up an interview. Unless it's going to be a mass where 100 people are going to take up a interview for 100 positions that are open, it is largely personalized. So keep those interview tips very personal to each candidate during this time. And last is T. Give them a lot of time. If necessary, their spouse may also be wanting to get on board. Probably some of these people who are at home may want to work from home. Their spouses may want to work from home to ensure that in the future things are balanced out, even if there is going to be a recession, or even if it's going to be a lull period for some time. So that will also give an inner boost to your recruitment. So this is how simple I have kept it. I am saying that the 9 hacks of recruitment is in Recruit itself. It is only in the actions that you're taking now, which is going to help you in the future. If there are 50 recruiters, make sure that each and every person has an email list of 1,000 people at this point of time, and a genuine relationship building in lockdown 2.0 with at least 20 calls per day. And let all those calls be in different industry, different kind of people. Don't judge anybody that, okay, I'm going to speak only to this industry or that industry, etc. Keep it open and have that list building done at this point of time, because that is going to compound in future and really going to scale up things in a big way. Right? With that, I like to keep it short. I'm open to any kind of questions you might want to ask. I'm also happy to learn from you. Yeah.
So much, Janki. I mean, I've never heard this definition of recruit earlier, and it's really kind of you to give this kind of a definition. Obviously, there is a huge stress on relationship building in the industry. The good news is that all my recruiters and all my franchise partners understand the value of relationships. They are all very self-invested in relationships, and but some of the suggestions that you have given are incredible in nature. I'm sure we will go back to the drawing board and try to see how much we can implement in this. But yes, I mean, like I said, the good thing is that you sharing this with us is a very, very good practice. I'm sure there must be things that we do at our end which we could share with you, and what you do in your end you can share with us. But I really appreciate you taking this time to kind of put it in a small capsule
Yep. Yeah.
capsule and give it to us in 20 minutes. The good news, of course, is that all of us know that the good times are just shortly away. It's going to come at a big bang. And it's going to ensure that India is going to grow very, very fast. Everybody is very optimistic. This is a temporary phase that we are going through. And I'm sure, we've already started seeing traction happening. You have also been talking about the same thing. It's the same experience at our end. We've started seeing some other clients already taking video interviews, already going into selection stages. So I think it's good news for all of us coming in a short duration. What I'm going to do, Janki, is there's a chat box on the right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, recruiters or, our friend heads or clients, whoever is there on the call, if they have any questions, they can put in the question and the chat box. And as you can see it, you can answer your questions.
How is current phase an opportunity and how to, one moment. Where can I see the questions?
It's on the right hand side. There's a chat box. It says, recruitment industry.
How is current phase an opportunity and how to make most of this? What opportunities can we expect post COVID-19 for recruitment industry? Yeah, so any misplacement of labor or any misplacement of labor due to loss of business means there is going to be a lot of new business that is going to come. So we still don't know what those new businesses are. Now, if you see 2022 is the time where electric vehicles will be launched into India. So for a long time, automotive and automobile industry was not so big. So if you're going to get electric vehicles, there is going to be a lot of manufacturing activity which is going to boom, or a lot of engineering activity that is going to come. So post COVID, that is a very big industry. So it is away 22 months from here away, but the work for it starts right now, because when the hiring starts, this is very fast. Not one person can do everything, so it goes to multiple vendors. So how much you cash in on the boom depends upon what preparations you're making right now, right? So that is what is the main opportunity. And reskilling, you have to tell all the candidates to be prepared in terms of reskilling. They cannot expect to have a fixed mindset and approach everything. They should be more flexible. What skills have you added? So possibly hiring questions will be like, there was a 40-day lockdown period. And what did you do in the 40-day lockdown period is the question which is going to be asked to everybody. So what are they going to answer? How did you make most of that time? Not all were working. Some did not have the facility to work from home. So what did you do that time? That's one.
There is a question from Sita.
There is a question from Sita, which is saying that,
ma'am, how should
recruiters adapt to the new situation?
Be very energetic. I'm sure Rashesh has been doing a lot of webinars for you, body, mind, soul, meditation and all that. I think last time he told me about it. So keep yourself very energized. You should be like a Buddha right now when you call them. Some of these people will be not knowing how to manage the crisis if they lose jobs. So you have to tell them that, I'm there for you. I'm there to help you. If you have any issues with your job or any in terms of how to handle the next 12 months, 13 months, you should be like a Buddha for them. You should tell them that, this is how you handle it. Probably you don't mind making a one-page content saying that how to manage this crisis and mail it to them so that they can share it to their friends. So it's like a very personalized communication which you're giving them, and they will be very happy to get it from you because you are the recruiter and you are the interface who's going to place them into company.
There is a question from John. He's saying that,
There is a question from John. He's saying that, hi Janaki, what is an ATS compliant resume?
ATS generally is used in information technology. It's called as an applicant tracking system. So when there is huge requirement, for example, Goldman Sachs or a JP Morgan says that I want 20,000 analysts. So all these people will apply into their ATS system. So this is a certain compliance, certain ways in which that resume is written. The system takes it or bounces it back. So to make an ATS compliant resume is become the norm where the number of hiring is very huge. So if I have a copy of it, I will send it across to Rasesh. You just look into it. Some industries use it, some industries don't use it. ATS means they may have their own job white application or any particular application where they'll ask you to upload the ATS compliant resume. So IT uses it mostly, but once bulk requirement comes and artificial intelligence comes, many people will want to use it. So this is right now more to do with IT. But once the volume of hiring picks up, probably all industries will start using it for their hiring purpose also.
I think one of the things, Janaki, we've seen is that most of the companies and most of the recruiters have already started using ATS compliant resumes.
Most of the formats available online
In fact, most of the formats available online are also pretty much ATS compliant because Naukri, Shines, Monsters of the world have quite a bit adapted to the different
RMS as a
modules.
module as an ATS.
So we are using RMS as a module as an
Up
ATS.
all the resumes, we are not
And
getting
that's fortunately picking up all the resumes. We are not getting too much of a bounce.
Okay, then it's fine.
There's
There's also a question from Biju, which is saying that could you give us exceptional tips you use while hiring leadership level requirements?
Sorry, there is an echo.
Okay, I'll check it. You can go ahead with the question. I'll answer. I'll just try and see which is why is it echoing. Yeah. So the question is, could you give us a few exceptional tips you use while hiring leadership level requirements? It's from Biju.
Okay. Leadership, be as informal as possible and try to connect with them. There are already 18 to 25-year experienced people. They are going to be under the line of fire because compensation levels for this positions are very high. So many companies will want the managerial or the leadership level people to take pay cuts. So some of the people may be asked to go or may be asked to leave also. So the strategy is very same when it comes to volume hiring or leadership hiring during the current crisis. So maintain the relationship, keep speaking to them on an ongoing basis, whether your position is open or whether you're not. Maybe earmark yourself in a day, you're going to talk to 5 or 10 people who are at the leadership level, who have still not got any opportunity. Help them with writing their resumes, give them interesting tips on where they can take free courses online. So these are all things which you need to do. If necessary, ask them to come and speak to you about their particular industry and whatever experiences they have had so far by organizing talks or guest shows and all that. So in extreme senior level roles, you can try and learn from them. At the same time, keep them engaged in that way, because you're going to be benefited both ways to do that. So it will take some time. Leadership hiring and all, it is going to take a really long time. There are two things in leadership hiring: either they start their own enterprise and hire through you, or either you hire them for a bigger enterprise. These are the two opportunities in leadership hiring.
I think that one is a great input. I'm sure what is going to happen is a lot of leadership level guys are going to actually start their own companies, and therefore one of the things that we've always seen that after the recruitment, in recruitment industries always benefited from a recession. Whenever things go down, then they come back with a real big bang. And we've seen that in 2007, we've seen that in 2011, we've seen that in 2002. And I'm also hoping that will happen same right now as well. Janaki, there's a question which is saying, what is the scope of business development considering that there is going to be cuts in jobs and expected reductions in new positions? Companies could cut down budgets on hiring.
Okay. So see, the best part about the lockdown is all the decision makers are available on call right now, or potential companies where you are wanting to do a hiring assignment. You can speak to the hiring manager or the business owner or the decision maker on call right now. So whether he or she gives you business or not, your role is to talk to them and understand what their organization is going to do in the coming days. Are they going to go in a contract model where they are saying, we'll take people for 3 months, 6 months, or what you call as gig economy? If they are not possible to do fixed costs for a long time, they may say that, give me this particular person who can do only this particular role for 3 months, 6 months. Or they may say that I want this person only for 3 hours per day if he has that skill. Gig is what? I mean, whatever skill you have, you use it in a particular project for a certain period of time. So that kind of contingency models and all will come. So even if they are going to reduce the BD and all that, you can always talk to the decision makers to understand what approach their organization has taken. And there is no one rule for anybody under current circumstances. Everybody's case will be different. It will play out very differently in every company. Some will sustain, some will not sustain, some will go down completely and then come up also, some may permanently shut down. So you cannot say that, okay, if this is in insurance it survives, or if this is in medical and pharma this will survive. Because in the last couple of days I have seen in my calls, though we are talking about healthcare, there are plenty of medical and pharma companies which have shut down because they have not had any sustenance. So whatever it is, you have to talk to them to understand how they are going about this position. One is they have told some people to suspend operations. We will see whatever happens after 18 months. It's a complete shutdown. That time we'll see, whether we want to run this or whether we don't want to run it. Second is cutting down of workforce. 70% is cut, 30% is functioning. That is also there. It has affected medium and small businesses big time. So every company has had its own set of issues. So to understand that and keep talking to them is going to be very beneficial for the future.
Thank you, Janaki, for that answer. Another question that has come from Disha is about the recruitment that is going to be coming from the US. As I'm sure you and I are both aware, there are a lot of projects come to India. So which means IT and other sectors outsource things to India, and then they are, kind of recruiting. One thing is going to happen that this economy is going through a different parallel itself. Okay. Do you think more work is going to come from the US, or do you think less work is going to come from the US?
See, work is going to come. They are dependent on us. But probably politically it will play out differently. All of them will want to say that, I want jobs for my people. So it's always better to have your strategy more domestic and keep a balance between what is coming from US and what is coming from India domestic market. Domestic will boom because eventually everybody will say that I want to create jobs for my people. So US outsourcing will be there. That cannot be completely ruled out. IT work has to be done from India. But overall, probably the volume may go down. They may say that, I want my people also to get jobs. So it could happen that way. But what is there remains. Whatever work India has been doing, that remains.
There is also a question from Galaxy A80, which is saying, from where can we get all career details so that we can guide candidates? I think there's some suggestion regarding guiding candidates that you've given. Do you think there's any platform where you can get details about all careers? You can get some kind of knowledge information.
See, personally, half of them are not on LinkedIn, and now it has become like a professional platform. And right now, LinkedIn Learning has been offering 15,000 courses which are free, right, at this point of time. So they can choose what they want to learn if they are going to be in a particular industry. See, marketing, sales, human resources function is so common. Everybody will have to know a little bit of it. Even if they are going and being part of any industry, they should know how to sell themselves, what kind of questions could be asked in interviews, how they can market their resume. These are all courses which are available on LinkedIn Learning right now. See, at this point of time, many learning resources which are internal to companies or on paid services are all being made available free. So they should be learning copywriting, content writing, marketing, digital marketing. These are all important skills for the future. Whether whatever branch you may have studied, these have become generic skills and you should know.
Another question that has come from Sita is an interesting one. It says, ma'am, most of the candidates expect 20 to 30% in the salary. How much do you think is a reasonable figure in a general post-COVID-19 situation?
See, there are some companies which are hiring also at this point of time, especially listed companies which are on Bombay Stock Exchange, and these kind of listed companies are using this as an opportunity to get good candidates to be part of their team. I have seen yesterday also a candidate who was on 12 lakhs has been onboarded as a learning and development manager for 19 lakhs. So this is happening. So you need to find out from the HR how much they are willing to offer, and based on that, speak about negotiation with the candidate. See, there are companies who are hiring. You see their position in the market, talk to their HR once the requirement comes. There are companies who are paying also, and there are companies who are not paying also. So you have to suit to their requirement and get it done, and ask the candidate to negotiate accordingly.
There is a question from Sarang. He's asking, what all are the innovative techniques we can apply for recruitment apart from job boards?
I gave you the first one.
So any innovative techniques apart from job boards?
See, what we see on a classified paper when the requirement is generated on a newspaper, those things don't necessarily come on job boards, but people look into the ads and apply over there, right? So one way of getting candidates is also to give those small ads on newspaper classified saying that you're looking for these generic skills. If you've lost jobs because of COVID, then apply to this particular email, HR at Talent Corner or COVID-19 at talentcorner.com, like that. So you'll have a lot of these resume assimilation if you're going to a careers page or something like that. Second is job tips. If you're asking me, then not all jobs come on job boards. You have to go to company websites and also apply and directly speak to the HR there. Not all companies have vendors also, so you need to engage with them on call or email, whatever. Emails are still being read a lot. You cannot say that SMS is there, mobile is there, mass SMS is there. Nothing. Emails are still most read, and once you drop a personalized email to HR, it does get read. They do go through it.
Okay. There is a question from Chandrasekhar. He's saying that some candidates' expectations are 100% hike in the IT. Do you think it's still justifiable?
It is not justifiable, but currently, if you see, they have all the major companies have said that there will not be any pay hikes for the coming year. In Q4, they have said yesterday, that there will not be any pay hikes. So you tell them that if they're looking for 100% hike, then they might have to wait. IT as such doesn't seem very affected right now, especially the bigger companies. But they will be compounding their problems if they are going to be jobless for a long time, saying that I want 100% hike. So you should talk to them saying that, see, if you're not taking up this opportunity, maybe you'll have to wait for a longer time, because they will not hire like they used to hire last year. It will take some time, at least a year, for everything to stabilize. So you need to speak to them accordingly. It is not a job seekers market. It is quite chaotic. Some places they are lucky, they get it. Some of them are unlucky, they don't get it. So if they have any financial commitments like home loan and credit card and all those things, they will find it difficult.
Then there is a question again from Chandrasekhar itself, saying that would employers be ready to offer a salary as per the candidate's demand, or do you think employers will take advantage of COVID-19 and reduce the pay?
Both are possible. Both are possible.
Yeah, I think that's a definite possibility. I mean, it's going to be more a situation where there has to be a middle ground. It cannot be unreasonable at both ends. In all fairness, the situation today demands that employees and employers both have a more realistic expectation from each other. I definitely believe gone are the times where one can be hired at a 50% and 50% salary hike, and that's an unfair salary hike to be expecting at this point of time also. Chandrasekhar, I mean, I think the answer to your question is that one will have to evaluate. It depends on the need of that particular position. If there is a high demand, I'm sure then they wouldn't mind paying a high amount of salary. I think Janaki would also agree with me, saying that if the demand is not very high, if there are plenty of candidates available, then asking for a hike is absolutely unjustifiable.
It's very chaotic.
Right. There is
you
a
can't
question.
understand.
Yeah, correct. There's a question from Disha, which is overall the post-pandemic situation is indicating hold on salary cuts and cutoff of manpower. Do you think? I mean, is that suggesting? Do you think that there's going to be hold on salaries or cutoff on manpower? Your opinion, Janaki.
See, yesterday I was speaking to a company which is Canadian-based, and they have about 100 employees here, and they do all this mortgage work of Canada here in India. So they are taking 30% pay cut, all 100 employees, to stabilize the financial impact of COVID-19. After it stabilizes, they are willing to give it back to the employee at the end of 6 months or 12 months, depending upon how well the business bounces back. So right now, all letters are being prepared saying that because of the current situation in the market, they are taking a precautionary approach of going for a 30% pay cut across the board. After 12 months, we will look at business conditions, and if we are bounced back, we will cumulatively give it back to you. So this is what this particular company has done.
I think it's all fair to say, Janaki, would you think that, each company will react differently? Today, nobody can predict as to what's going to happen tomorrow. We've seen, I remember 2007, 2008, where recession came in, it came in for less than 35 days of time, and then everybody was hiring. Everybody used it as an excuse to terminate people. And the ones that the high paying guys, got terminated, then they became to an hiring spree. And I think that's also possibility of what's going to happen more in COVID-19 situation. More important, I think there's going to be more opportunity which is going to come out versus on the other round.
See, in lockdown 1.0, some companies sustained. But when lockdown 2.0 started, some companies said that we cannot sustain. This has also happened.
Correct.
So within days, scenario has changed. No, he said that I have the capital for 3 months. He tried his best to sustain, but they do not have capital reserves to pay salaries to employees. So what will they do? But so far they managed the situation. So it is a helpless situation. You cannot blame anybody. You cannot say that this has not been done or that has not been done. It's a very strange kind of a scenario. Because all along the person has paid salaries. Only thing, he did not have the reserves to continue for the next 3 months or 12 months. So he had to shut down the company.
Correct. A question from Shrikant K, which is saying that what could be the new streams of business that could become more active now post COVID-19 lockdown? there is a probability where which is going to shift from primary IT roles to something like biotech or medical manufacturing. How can Talent Corner identify these areas and tap new business areas?
Yep, there are nine new areas which are there, which is going to really come up. One is VR and AR, virtual reality and artificial intelligence, VR and AR. Second is green energy, wind energy, solar energy, renewable. How it is going to happen? But there is a great possibility for these things to come, because once solar power comes up, these things will pick up. Then third is e-commerce. E-commerce will be, it was there. I mean, we saw Flipkart and all these people. It is going to be there. So there will be more players who will come, regional players. Fourth is consulting. A lot of experts will be required because they cannot be hired on board. So you can do consulting in any field. Fifth is content marketing. There is going to be a lot of materials that are written, rewritten, rebranded. New opportunities means new contents to be written. So content marketing will boom. Beauty technology, people buying beauty products online using artificial reality, being able to do fashion tech and beauty tech on the mobile phone without going to the shop. Eighth is gaming. Gaming is going to come up because more people are sitting at home and they are having the time. So paid gaming will start. Ninth is biotech and medical, and elder care. Elder care services. Our population is getting old, so as a service, there will be a lot of people required to take care of them. Cyber security. More gadgets are being used, so hacking, security issues related to mobiles and laptops, all this is going to grow. And last is fintech. All payments are being made online on the phone. So fintech is also going to grow along with learning management system, educational training on the phone, or what you call as ed tech. These are all the industries which are going to grow. I'll have this list sent across to Rashesh. You know, you all can have a list, and based on that, you can also tap companies for future clients.
Great. I think Chandrasekhar has also asked a very similar question, which you've answered in terms of which industry they're going to show surge in recruitment. We've already answered that question. Are there any more questions that are there? I'd like you guys to put it on the chat box so that we can, Janaki can answer it. If there is something that you'd like to share with Janaki as well, I'm sure she is also more than happy to learn. I think the intent was to share her experience. At the same time, she would also like to hear from us in terms of what do we believe in. I think one of the things that all of us need to understand is no one has the right answer. Everybody is going through the same experience today. So as much as Janaki is, we are learning from Janaki is learning from us. The only way we can get it right is by sharing things with each other. So Janaki will have an opinion about certain things. I will have a different opinion, and someone else will have a different opinion. But cumulatively, I think what all of us are believing is that this is a very temporary phase that we are all going through. In short duration of time, India will be the next destination where the world is going to look at. And there's going to be opportunity for all of us as long as we do things right. Would that be fair to say, Janaki?
Yeah, very much. And you have to know how to live within budget for next 18 months. And just wait for the right time, things will change. It is sure to say. Give it time and be very optimistic. I told you, be a Buddha for others. Then it is easy.
Correct. There's a question from Chandrasekhar again, which is saying that what will be the future of call centers?
It will come back for telemedicine and local domestic BPO, no? Rural to tier 2 and tier 3 towns, where sanitation and healthcare and public welfare and all is required. we will have centers established for them. So we are already seeing that after the pandemic has come, there are telemedicine and medical transcription and all which is coming back.
Right. So the BPO and the KPO industry is likely to, also surge apart from, so that's feedback that we should got.
Yeah.
There is a question from, just 1 minute, I'll just open the question. It's from Siva Kumar, which is saying, I think we should be able to convince the candidates to join the company, even though there is a salary cut. Or I think it is on us to convince the candidate and give them the hope that everything will come to normalcy in a span of time. Is it so?
The situation will be such that they won't ask you many questions. They'll go and join.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Sita says, thank you, ma'am, for sharing your wonderful insights and with us and answering all our questions patiently. Thank you, Sita. There is one question from Galaxy 480, which is saying that, what do you think will be the future of the automobile industry?
Very good. One is electric vehicles and one is existing vehicles going hybrid. So there are three things to know. One is the manufacturing of electronic vehicles. Second is the batteries where they need to get charged. And third is the charging station. All three. So you can imagine the kind of opportunity it will generate.
A question from Disha, which is medical and research sector going to be a more profound business? Should we focus on the medical sector as an HR consultant?
Yes. Medical, if you look at pharma, they treat their people really well. It is not like IT. Pharma, if you see any candidate, they would have worked for 15 years, 18 years, consistently in that organization. They treat people really well. So all that is going to come up again. It is like, you can say that we are a global for other countries. A lot of medicines will be made here and then it will be exported outside.
A question from Sarang, which is, how can one upskill during the lockdown from a recruitment perspective?
Yeah, I've told you.
How do you upskill?
Yeah, how to speak to candidates on phone call. If you're not on video, you're not there in the future. We are talking right now. So if you're not on video, if you're not talking to candidates, for example, you're a recruiter and you're having a profile in LinkedIn. Today you wish to connect to all data science candidates. So you are going to upload a 1-minute video of you saying that, data sciences industry is going to grow this much. India has a requirement for 99,000 data scientists. So whoever is there in my network in data sciences, type data sciences below and then connect with them. So if you're not on video, you're not in the market, you're not in the business right now.
Okay. There is a question from Chandrasekhar again saying that biotechnology currently does not have any demand. How much time do you think it will take to surge the biotechnology sector?
See, we already have a set of companies which are working. Now, government will actually give more importance to education in the healthcare sector, like nursing and paramedical staff and people who take care of babies soon after the birth. There is no courses and all which are designed for that. So they will focus on liberalizing that education more. We already have enough healthcare infrastructure. We are going wrong somewhere in education. That is the problem. So they will try to fix all that in the coming years, which will automatically give rise to jobs in services.
There's a question from Nagendra, which is, can you give some insight on what kind of positions, industries where remote working has been successful? Is it going to change considering this COVID-19? How would the recruitment strategy need to change for remote working positions?
Yeah, as I said, how to take video interviews from home. how they are going to patch on calls, what are the conferences that they are going to use. Like I've heard there is Google Meetup, there is Microsoft Teams, WebEx. These are all various collaboration tools that have come in. So with this, people will be working from home because some companies cannot even manage to pay the rental. There is no fancy office culture and all anymore, at least next 24 months. So if you're going to work from home, how structured is your place of work? How are you going to manage the work at home? These are all questions which will come. You have to reorient the employee as to how to work from home. It's going to pick up. People will not. People will want to run a business, but they will not have the money to spend on very posh offices, etc.
Fair. Any other questions from the audience? Yes, you've got a thanks from Nagin, Janaki. Any other questions from the audience? It's almost been an hour since the time. Yes, there's one question which has just come in. It says, okay, there's a suggestion to me. I'll take it up. Don't worry. So Shrikant, we'll talk on the phone. We have, apart from Talent Corner team members, we have people from outside as well. So we'll take this on the phone.
Yep.
Right. So Chandrasekhar, you said you want a summary of all the future sectors. Yes, I'll take that from Janaki and I'll send it across to all our partners.
Yeah, I'll give you the actionables also. Whatever I have discussed in Recruit also,
Right.
I'll put it into pointers and I will give it to Rakesh.
Super. Thank you so much, Janaki. Really appreciate it. I'm going to stop the questions now because I think it's already close to an hour since the time Janaki is with us. Janaki, once again, like I said, I appreciate you sharing these thoughts. You know, all of us from the recruitment industry have seen a lot of ups and downs. The great part is we're always optimistic. The great part is we've always seen us coming out stronger from these situations. I'm sure you have seen the past being the same way. I've seen the same thing, and I know that this is going to be, this is only going to be momentary. This is going to change, and all of us are going to become better. I appreciate you being very open to sharing your thoughts with us. I'd like to request the audience that these are Janaki's views, Janaki's experience that is being shared. The good way to look at it is also do your own research work. Make your own opinions. The idea is nobody has the right answers. What I say or what Janaki says is not something which can be absolutely written in stone. Right? Things can change. We're all learning from time. So don't take it as if what we are predicting is what is going to happen. But yes, the right thing for us to do is to be optimistic, to be looking at things in the right way, to keep upskilling ourselves, and to ensure that we are building strong relationships with our clients, with each other, so that together we can become better individuals and we can have a better business. The world is changing. Let's change along with it.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. If you want, just put in a quick thank you to Janaki, and next 2 to 3 minutes, we'll close this call.